but my mother-in-law, bless her soul, is a loud Hispanic woman who literally yells everything that she says. My wife is laughing right now. Literally yells everything that she says, and it's said with almost like this Spanish soap opera sort of enthusiasm. The thing is that when you watch Travis Kelce do his dance, he does it with his white enthusiasm. But you watch Cam Newton do the same dance, and he does it with the black enthusiasm, which is more boisterous. What are you talking about?
No, Travis Kelce did it with exactly as much enthusiasm and danced just fine. He didn't do it off rhythm.
Nobody wants to watch a white guy dance.
You should look up the video of Travis Kelce doing it. He looks fine. My point is this. Don't make the whole thing black or white. I'm just saying this. I think a larger percentage of the people that vote are white, and when it comes down to the two, I think on a subconscious level, they voted white.
I'm just messing with you, really. I honestly think that the reason this is behind it is the Bostonian fans. I don't think it has anything ultimately to do with color. I think it has to do with the fact that Patriots have been good for a very long time. And when you have a fan base all coming together to push through yet another year of wonderful, oh my God, he's so dreamy, Tom Brady, what they're doing is they're basically stacking the ballots because they are a very large fan base and they just came off of a Super Bowl win. That right there basically stacks the deck against Cam Newton. It would have required him to not only have a great year, because he did have super stellar years coming up to this year, but he would have also had to come off of a good year. So that way the fan base would have had time to develop, organize, and strategize on how to stuff the ballots. This happens all the time in baseball, all the way across the league, and you hear about it all the time. All these Yankees going to the All-Star game, and the reason that happens is the Yankees have a large fan base. It actually happened with the
Royals this year.
Yes.
Did you hear about that?
And
that was awesome.
Yes, and you know what? The people. You're right. The Royals. The Kansas City media was sitting there telling people how to vote. Everybody go there. Vote 5, 6, 12, 15, 30 times if you have to. Get your friends.
They had all the positions except for one.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's awesome.
Exactly. And it's not because your fan base was so utterly huge, though it has become huge since the Kansas City Royals have become good, but you came off of a good season, and you had a good season, and it just added to the synergy that was happening. So I don't think that Cam Newton, everybody knows you were the best football player in the league this year. Don't let this deter you. The chances are both you and Tom Brady will not be playing in this game anyhow, as you guys are probably both Super Bowl bound. And nobody plays on the Pro Bowl if you're going to the Super Bowl. Why risk the opportunity of getting hurt? You need to practice, all that other stuff. So with that, I think that unless a texter or a caller has another explanation that they could put to this, I think we could put that to bed as being the reasonings behind it. Now, I know you want to go with the race, and maybe that had a little bit to do with it for the outside, non-committed NFL fan, the subconscious white effect, but I don't think so. We are going to be taking callers at 405-562-5463.
That's racist of you to say.
It's your white guilt talking. So we need you to call in at 405-562-5463 and go ahead and give us a call, and we will talk about whatever you want to talk about. But right now we're going to transition into a comment that Todd Bowles said. He said, guys, we definitely have to win out. And I'm looking at the Jets schedule, and I wanted to talk whether or not that's even a remote possibility, considering the circumstances. This week, the Jets are playing the Cowboys. I think that's a possibility of a win. However, the next week after that, they play the Patriots. Now, that's going to be in New York, and then after that, the Bills. If Todd Bowles still feels like he's in contention, he's asking for a 6-game winning streak to push through to the end of the season. Does this have even an iota of a possibility in your mind, Matt?
No way.
Expand.
No, that's it. There's no chance in hell that the Jets win out. The Jets, look, they have a depleted secondary. Their defense hasn't been playing half as good as it was playing. And yes, I think Fitzpatrick's good, but I just don't. They're just up and down. That's it. That defense sometimes can leak like a sieve, and then that offense is not clicking some games. And I just don't think they have the fortitude yet, and that they've played together long enough to really come through and push for the rest of the season. Who do they play? What are their remaining? What are their upcoming games?
The Cowboys this week, Patriots next week, and then the Bills.
There you go. No way. They'll lose. It's funny you say that. God, the Patriots, really, on paper, the Patriots shouldn't be that good, but I just don't see them beating the Patriots. That's a rivalry game, and the Patriots in rivalry games just seem to step it up. Belichick's just a good coach, so I don't see him winning that game, and I don't even know if they win the Bills game. That's going to be a tough game at the end of the year where the Bills are going to come out really swinging, so we'll see, but I doubt it.
Well, one of the things to consider here is that the Patriots that late in the season, and with the fact that Cincinnati is now beginning to struggle, don't have their backs against the walls for that number one seed through the playoffs. Right now, currently, the Patriots are the number one seed. The Bengals 10-3, and if they drop another game, which I can imagine them easily doing with A.J. McCarron in as their quarterback for the next 3 games at least, I see them beginning to rest players, especially with how banged up the Patriots are right now. Why put Gronk fully in there? Let him have maybe a half against the New York Jets. Why go into a heavy rivalry game late in the season when you already probably locked up the first seed of the playoffs? That's why I'm thinking that the Jets have a reasonably good chance of making the playoffs. Even though right now they are the 6th seed with an 8-5 record. If the playoffs were today, right now, they would be in. But there's tough competition. We got the Chiefs, who are also 8-5, and we got all these other teams like Pittsburgh, who's the 7th seed, also 8-5. They just don't. And then it drastically drops off because the Oakland Raiders are 6-7. So if the New York Jets go 10-6 and create some space between Pittsburgh or Kansas City, it could happen. But that's the only other way I can see it.
Yeah, and frankly, I'm still pissed about Stephen A. Smith saying that he thinks that Pittsburgh and the Jets get in. Over Kansas City, I just don't see the Jets being that good of a team. I think Pittsburgh definitely can do. I think they're a great team and they're playing a lot better and they're on a hot streak. I just don't see that from the Jets. They're just not playing on a hot streak. They won a game or two, but I don't think they have what it takes to beat, like I said, to beat the Patriots or to beat the Bills.
Well, if they do get in, it's going to be definitely as a wild card because there is no way that they can even conceive the thought of going and beating New England for the AFC East play. Only thing that New England needs to do is win one more game and they clinch the AFC East. So, and that's going to happen. Nobody's doubting that in the least. But I do believe that the Jets do stand a chance. The question is that with the upcoming schedule with the Chiefs, do the Chiefs end up with the 5th overall seed or the 6th overall seed? I don't see them winning the division as well. Do you see the Chiefs possibly beating out the Broncos, who currently are the 3rd seed and 10-3, but they're 2 games behind with only 3 games to play?
I would love to see the Kansas City Chiefs beat out the Broncos. More just to rub it in their face. And to win our division would be awesome. But going into the playoffs, I'd much rather be a 5 seed who goes in and plays the AFC South winner. So we get a rematch with someone like Indianapolis, right? Or Houston. Hey,
whoever you are, please call back on another number. I can't merge you from this private line.
So, yeah, as far as games that I would like to play, yeah, I'd much rather end up with a 5th seed.
Yeah, no, I think that honestly the 5th seed is probably the best for the Chiefs. And playing the Ravens like you did as terrible as they are, you have a good situation there, and then you're going to be playing the Cleveland Browns. So basically, the Seahawks are roughing them up for you, and you're putting the dagger in their chest. And if the Chiefs end up going and beating the Raiders, that's a pretty good run. What is that now? 10 games in a row that you're winning.
It'd be a 10-game win streak.
We got a caller from the 252. Let's go ahead and merge them in. Caller, go ahead.
Hey, caller.
Hey, just for the record, New England's already locked up last AFC from a week ago. And do you honestly want to see the Jets? And do you really think the Patriots want to see the Jets in the playoffs again going up in Foxborough?
You're right. They did win the division. Go ahead with that one, Matt.
Yeah, because I don't think the Patriots want to see them again.
I mean, I personally don't think the Patriots care who they see come playoff time. That's one thing about the Patriots. If you go into Foxborough and the playoffs, you're just bummed. That's it. I don't think there's anyone in the NFL that wants to go into Foxborough and play the Patriots in January.
Oh, no, they don't. And I think that I agree with what Nash said about the Patriots locking this division up because they're really going to Pittsburgh's going to beat Denver, and it's not going to matter what Cincinnati does without Andy Dalton. Buddy of mine at the gym the other day told me doesn't lose the first game anyway, and he's a lifelong Bengals fan. But I'm going to go ahead and take it off there. I just want to put that piece in.
Hey, I really appreciate the call. That's some good stuff.
Yeah, it is. And let's also discover just for a moment that the Denver Broncos in their current state, if they run the table and the New York Jets do happen to somehow beat the Patriots, that does leave the potential for the New England Patriots to have the 2nd seed in the playoffs, with Denver having the tiebreaker in their head-to-head matchup between the New England Patriots and Denver in, I think it was week 11 or 12. This is an opportunity for Denver to still maintain the possibility of clinching home field advantage throughout the playoffs. But he made a good point. It's not likely to happen. I think that at this point, New England's on cruise control and just needs to keep players healthy. So that way, when they get to that out of that first round of the playoffs, they could take whoever they're going to have in that wild card after that wild card matchup, which I believe will probably be the 4 seed Indianapolis. I really do. I think they'll probably beat the Jets or Cincinnati. And they're going to take Indianapolis and just stomp them at home. Just like they did last year with that deflated ball situation. It's going to be all over again, and they're going to come out mad. And they're going to make sure there's extra pressure in Tom Brady's balls.
Oh, wow. You had to go there.
I did.
All right. They're your jokes, so you go with them.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to do a laugh track just behind me. Here we go. You didn't hear it, but everybody else did.
Amazing.
It happens, Matt. It happens from time to time. You got to let some of the cheese and the corn out, because if you don't let the cheese and the corn out, it gets all backed up, and then you have to look at it in the toilet. But with that, we're going to go to break.
Finally, can we take a moment and stop listening to these idiots long enough to get the Cars for Kids jungle stuck in my head?
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Also on the web at carsforkids.com. That's Cars with a K. We're a recognized 501c3 charity organization.